Domination! Utah! Welcome back to Slapshot, Utah. As you can see, we have a special guest with us today. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are currently playing the Carolina Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup Finals, and it appears that the Vegas Golden Knights are taking the momentum in that series. We have a very special guest, our friend from the Delta Center live. Mammoth fan, but 1A Vegas fan, and he has held the line. Big D, welcome to the show. Slapshot, Utah, how you doing?
I'm tired as shit. That was amazing.
Yeah, right on, man. All right, so we got to explain. Massive Star Wars fan, right? I don't know if you've seen Big D walking around the DC. He's got a Vegas jersey and he's got a Mammoth jersey. Both of them say Big D Vader. Dude, we met as season ticket buddies. But before we get into any of that, I want you, because you're going to be our Vegas Golden Knights rep here in the Utah Valley, because you're an OG Knights fan. And
I'm an OG.
You held the line the whole time. I am 1A Knights. So give us, with the mask, give us your Big D Vader message to the Knights Nation here in Utah. Give us your message as Vader, bro.
As Vader, my message is go Knights go. Do not underestimate the Carolina Hurricanes. They're like a lash that just will not go away.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah, that's right. Because look, I had my phone out, right? I had the message, I had the tweet all set up for Vegas Golden Chokers last night. They did end up pulling it off. But
I was prepared to receive that text message from you last night as well.
Yeah, I was sitting there waiting like to see how it's gonna end up. Double overtime. Why can't this team hold on to a lead, bro?
It's kind of the same thing with the Utah Mammoth. They're inconsistent. But with that being said, shoot the fucking puck. If you shoot the goddamn puck, anything can fucking happen. And you saw it with the overtime here with Shea Theodore. Two fucking lucky bounces last night. First one off a walker stick going into the goddamn net. And then you got the overtime one off the back boards. It's just the inconsistency of the goalies.
Yeah.
Dude, big D, dude. One of my favorite things about you wearing the Vader mask right now is me and Lee touched on the Vegas Knights need to lean in to the evil and the villain side of the NHL, which holy shit, are we gonna see what you actually
Like I told you fuckers, that mask is as hot as fucking shit in there.
Right.
Goddamn.
Dustin,
you're not having a haircut.
Dustin, you were supposed to say, "Help me take this mask off, so I can see with my own eyes."
No, I see what you guys fucking look like with my own eyes, but no, that mask is hot as hell. And where I have had a haircut or shaved since the beginning of the playoffs, the hair is sticking on the padding inside that goddamn thing, and it's just
I can only imagine.
I'm dying in hair.
Yeah.
Hey, but Big D, so okay, let's touch on the last couple games. I gotta say, like, it was funny on Twitter. Everyone was like, "Oh, Carolina Vegas, this is gonna be the most boring Stanley Cup of all time." This is one of the most exciting Stanley Cup finals I've watched in I can't remember the last exciting one. So not last night's, but the game before, game 2, when they called that goal not a goal when Torts challenged it. How did you feel as a Knights fan? Because I told Meg, my girlfriend, I was like, if this was a Mammoth game and they called that goal back, I would have fucking shot this TV. So it kind of feels like it's Vegas versus the world, doesn't it?
Well, I have that shirt that says that right now, but no, the NHL needs to get a true consistency of what the fuck goaltender interference actually is. I was like, okay, this could be good, this could be bad. But the same situation happened last fucking night. You know, you had the puck dangling around in there, and they called it a good goal.
Yeah, the
And
second
not just a
period.
puck, but an opposing player
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
occupying the net.
Yeah. So I mean, I when it comes to goaltender interference, I like it is what it is. If it's called, great. If it's overturned, it is what it is because there's no true fucking definition of what goaltender interference anymore. I remember back in the day, if your fucking skate or stick was in the blue crease at all,
Yeah.
it was no goal regardless. Now it's so hit or miss that it's hard to say. So I'm for it one way or another.
Okay, so look, Mitch Marner. He could end up on the cover of NHL 27, man. Like he's complete. Talk about a generational aura shift, right? What do you think? Is it Torts? Because it's not like Marner was absolutely slaying it during the regular season. He was good, but come on, talk about this Vegas Golden Knights magic and what's happening.
You know, it's funny. It was going to the last season off when you and I were talking about Marner going to Vegas, and I was like, I don't want him there. He's a cancer.
I remember.
You're right. You're
Let me
right.
go.
that?
I
Let me
remember
let you
that.
know.
Yeah.
It's Toronto that's the cancers because apparently 2 fucking hat tricks in these Stanley Cup playoffs. Torts,
4
I'm still
points in a period.
yeah, you know, and Torts great press conferences. You know, he's been dealing with so many fucking young teams over the last 10 years, 15 years since he won that cup in Tampa Bay. I think he just came in there to let them play. I was shocked as shit when they fired Cassidy, to be perfectly honest with you. And but there's just something about it. He tells you how it is, and I like that because he's not fucking Willy Wonka. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
When you have a conversation with me about anything, I tell you how it is. People say I'm mean or rude about it. I was like, no, I'm just fucking honest. That's how it is. And I think that's what he's gone in there and done. He's not trying to blow smoke up anybody's ass. He's not trying to sugarcoat stuff. He's just telling you how it is. Like, hey, Hurdle the other night, you sucked. Okay, he stepped in, scored the power play goal last night. You know, and so, but yeah, Marner, I have to eat crow for, and he, I think with Marner, and I could be wrong, but this is just me as a hockey fan. Even if Vegas loses this season or this series, he's your Conn Smythe winner.
Yeah. He's been
Well,
killing it.
and I
Go
gotta
ahead.
touch too. Like, so anyone that doesn't know, Big D was the podcast, the Lost Jedi, that we weren't able because we had
Yeah.
recording issues. He is the stat master. If you ever want to know any type of stats, Big D, he's literally like computer. He just knows every single thing, dude. And so, like, I messaged you earlier. I said I didn't want to touch on it because I want to talk to you in person like this. Dude, is this Mitch Marner resurgence probably the greatest agent for Austin Matthews' reason to leave Toronto? Which do you see, like, if Austin Matthews leaves Toronto, could he have a Mitch Marner type resurgence in his career? Or do you think, I don't know. I just want to hear what you think about the Austin Matthews leaving Toronto. Do you think he could do what Mitch Marner's doing right now?
Yes, and maybe. It depends on where he's going to and with what his surrounding cast is. They're just I think the pressure in fucking Toronto is like the Yankees of baseball, the Lakers of the NBA, the fucking Cowboys of the fucking NFL. So I think the Toronto is that pressure. But yes, Matthews will succeed to the degree. Again, depends on his supporting cast because he went down to Vegas with Eichel, Mark Stone. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, a couple of those other guys, and they're picking up other players along the way in trades, like the Thomas Hurdles of the world. Whoever fucking thought, you know, going from San Jose to fucking Vegas, that he would waive his trade clause to go there and have San Jose still retain like 66% of that fucking salary, you know. But I think that Matthews will succeed. Just as how much depends on his supporting cast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned Matthews, and like there was some rumors about whether or not he was going to hang around in Toronto. And, obviously he feels like he needs supporting players and him being the captain, but we got a similar situation kind of talking around like with Dylan Larkin right now, captain of the Detroit Red Wings. Look, if you're Dylan Larkin, seems like Toronto is the place to go if you really want to be relevant, but he's not going to go to a place like that. And so it's kind of like you see this thing with Marner happening, and the question and the conversation we're happening right now is like, well, are you going to be a better player? Is it better for your career to not be in Toronto? And so, gosh, if anything's making the case against Toronto, it's Marner right now. Speaking of Larkin, what do you think? Not to switch gears to the Utah Mammoth, but I saw Cole Bagley was talking about some potential trade offers for Larkin.
Horrible trade offer he put up, by the way. What
That's
the
what
fuck?
I think too. Well, Dustin, what do you think, man? Like, what's your opinion about Larkin? And do you really feel like he's the kind of guy who fits into the Mammoth organization?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't watch and pay a lot of attention to Detroit. I never have. I've never been a fan of the Red Wings. So I don't pay too much about those. But the offering that I saw, because I think I sent you that text. I don't know if you saw it before. I'm okay with Hayton in that trade. I'm okay
Yeah.
with Dursey in that trade.
Yeah.
The pick, the prospect. I don't follow a lot of prospects, but listening to all the different podcasts and shows that I listen to, that one, hell no.
This is what he put up. He put for Dylan Larkin for the Detroit Red Wings, Utah Mammoth give up Barrett Hayton, Sean Dursey, and this is where I don't agree. Caleb Desnoyers, the 2026 first round pick, and the 2028 second round pick. That's too much.
Nah, if you keep the prospect, the rest of it's okay.
But Desnoyers, I don't want to get rid of Desnoyers.
You get rid of you can get rid of Hayton and Dursey in the 2 draft picks.
Agreed. But Desnoyers staying with us.
Yeah, you keep the prospect because they've got so much down in the farm system right now that you keep having all these goddamn picks. You just can keep adding and adding and adding, which is going to further preventing some of these other guys coming up.
Yeah, the one advantage to picking up Larkin is you could put him at 2C and move Schmaltz back out to the wing.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, John, it's Desnoyers is the pick. That's the plan. The GMBA plan is to stay the course and fulfill the plan, not to react to whatever popular free agent phenomenon is going on. That being said, I think Caleb Desnoyers is your Dylan Larkin of the future, so to speak. Although I've got a proposal just off, it's not a trade or anything, but it's just off the cuff. I noticed that Alex Tuck in Buffalo doesn't look like he's going to sign. Now, that's the kind of player that maybe we need until we wait for Iginla to get out there at the wing. Physical, tall, playoff experience now. Like, he might be on the same line as Peterka, wouldn't he? Like, so I don't know, man. Is that right?
I like Tuck. He's a nice big power forward. He can go. If he's actually one. I was telling some of you guys during the season when Boot was out there during the power play. We need somebody who's big enough and tall enough to stand right in the fucking center of the goddamn crease and be a fucking tree to block the goaltender's eyes. That's one of the things that Tuck can do because he's got a little bit more bulk. He's not as tall as Boot by any chance, but he's bulkier. And unfortunately, those guys don't make that living sitting in front of the crease anymore. Tuck would be fun.
Unrestricted free agent. Unrestricted. So we might, maybe we can work a little magic. That being said, look, I don't care. Dylan Larkin has a no trade agreement. He's got to approve anything. Yeah. And so he's going to take his pick. And that's just it, is that, Steve Yzerman, he's trying to put together some magic in Detroit. And I guess the last thing I want to say is, I don't know if I want a player who was a captain of a team during a rebuild and decided to abandon. Then don't take the C. Like, that's kind of was my problem with Austin Matthews when there was a conversation about will he or won't he stay in Toronto. Bro, you shouldn't have taken that C if you weren't committed to the actual project, So, and I know that might be a little bit of a grumpy Muppet old school way of looking at things, but that's kind of like so much of hockey and so much of these lines fail and succeed on chemistry alone. You can see when the Predators tried to buy themselves a frontline team and the chemistry did not work. Steven Stamkos, you can put the names in there, but it doesn't mean it's going to gel. And I just feel like Larkin is wrong. But then again, it is the off season and the media needs something to talk about. So maybe that's what we're on.
Well, and 10 years of losing in Detroit will make anybody want to get the fuck out of there.
My sympathies. And I honestly, Dustin, I'm right with you. I don't give a shit about the Detroit Red Wings either. All right, let's go back to Vegas real quick.
I do
you
got to
mentioned
say something really quick. I may have to
Yeah.
switch headsets because the one in my ear is about to die. I had it charged all night, and for whatever reason, it did not take. So I may have to jump off for just a second, and I will
Do it
log
right
in
now.
via my
Do it right
phone.
now.
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
Do it right now. Yeah, I'll stop it right now. We'll be right back, guys.
We'll be right back on Slapshot Utah.
Welcome back. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back, and we were talking to Big Vader D, the Las Vegas 1A fan. Hey, so let's just keep talking about Vegas. I have one question before we get more into it. I've been watching this series, and Carter Hart, regardless of how you feel, has been playing on his head. But at the same time, your guys' defense in Vegas, those big D, no pun intended, defenders are blocking shots and getting in the way. Just like you just said, we need a big defender that can block the whole goal. Outside of Marner or Eichel or even Tortorella, who's your MVP that maybe a lot of like not fair weather fans, but 1B hockey fans might want to watch his defense on the Vegas Knights this year?
For defense, it would have to be Braden McNabb. That son of a bitch took an 87-mile-an-hour slap shot in the face the other night.
I know. And in slow motion, you could see it coming and him reacting to it.
Yeah, McNabb, he's been my favorite defensive player since day one, since they got that team. But as far as an overall player, it would actually be Dorofeev, aka Skorofeev, with all the fucking power play goals. He actually lead the team this year in goals scored. Not Eichel, not Marner, but Dorofeev. But yeah, the defensive MVP would definitely be Braden McNabb, and the way he goes out there and hits people. Some people call them very questionable interference type hits up against those boards. He's a master at it. Sometimes he gets the game misconduct for it, but most of the time he does not. So, but yeah,
Shea Theodore having good defensive success, it seems like, on his lines this series.
Yeah, and Theodore, I mean, he's a good offensive defenseman, but he gives up a lot of turnovers. And this year I would actually compare him with fucking Sergachev.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, a lot of turning over the pucks.
Yeah. Hey, look, so we were talking about Vegas being the new villain, like we've mentioned, and we love it, and we love to see our Vegas Golden Knights friends really lean into it. So let's talk about Cassidy, right? Okay. They fired Cassidy, and now he's still under contract, but they won't let him interview. And of course, some people are really itching and buzzing about whether or not that's fair. So, Dustin, as our VJ Key dude, tell me what you think about the Cassidy situation.
Vegas is fucking ruthless. They will do anything and everything at all costs to win. But you would think that because he was fired, that contract has got to be paid up. And by doing so, you would, again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an agent, I have no idea what the verbiage of these things say. But based off of everything that you hear, even though he got fired, he's still under contract with them for another year, which, again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to know everything because I sure the fuck don't, not especially on something like this. I think what they're doing to him is a little bit shady. If they were going to put the verbiage in the contracts, like, hey, if you get terminated, you cannot sign, until your contract expired with like a Pacific Division, aka Edmonton. And there was the problem, is because the rumors started going around that Edmonton started wanting Cassidy before they got rid of Knobloch. And so that turned into a whole other situation there in Edmonton type of deal. But Vegas will do whatever it takes to fucking win. And for them to screw Cassidy the way that they're doing it right now, I don't agree with it. Everybody has the opportunity to work. And if he wants to go coach somewhere, let him go fucking coach, even if it is in the division with the Kings or the fucking Oilers and stuff like that. But if you're going to do that kind of shit, put it in the contract saying, hey, if you get fired, you can't go coach with somebody within our own division for, however long your remainder of your contract is. You can sign with anybody else but that. But that's just my own thought.
Well, that's exactly where I'm at with it. It's like, I'm a competitor. So like, no, you don't, like, you're not going to go work for the Kings or the Oilers. Go coach the Red Wings. Go coach the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning. Go coach the Habs. But I'm not selling my coach. I'm not going to let you interview and hire my coach while we're in a Stanley Cup race right now. You're not going to learn the ins and outs because clearly the Vegas front office is doing something right. They clearly know the ins and justs about it, that they're doing something right. I'm not selling you. I'm not going to let someone go in there that's going to tell you my chess moves that I've figured out in the last 11 years, you know? So I'm not even mad at them for not letting Cassidy interview with the Kings or Oilers. I completely agree with it.
Well, the thing is,
Oh, yeah, I agree with you, John, and I'll even take it one step further. It's kind of part of what I'm beginning to adore grudgingly about this Vegas franchise, man. It's like, look, I've never been a Vegas local. I didn't grow up there, but I've been through it 100 billion times. And I'll tell you, doesn't it? Look, one thing I can tell you coming down through I-15 or on the Strip is all the personal injury attorney ads on the billboards and all the litigious, it's a very American type city in like kind of a shady way. But that being said, I kind of like hey, this is look, this guy used to have access to our intellectual property. This guy knows the keys to the kingdom. Why wouldn't we, like you said, if we're paying him, well, why wouldn't we? He's still our asset. And you're right. I think it does an old school kind of reek of like, come on, this is a little bit of petty competition. But then again, didn't Bill Belichick in the NFL kind of eventually win people over by being, look, I'll sum it up this way, and it's something that I've read lately that's really fascinated me, is that a psychologist, Carl Jung, said, and I'll condense it, but it's just basically the need to be understood by others is a form of slavery, you know? And the Knights
Agreed.
don't have to explain their actions, and that's something I'm kind of like, if I was a Vegas fan, hell yeah, don't fuck with us. So that's my take on it. I'll say one more thing before I turn it back over to you, Dustin, because I've been watching this on the television. And I didn't hear it so much during the regular season, but I'm impressed. I will admit that barn, the Vegas barn, when they were singing the song the other night, waking up in a window and I'm sleeping with my clothes on. When everybody was singing that, when everybody was singing that song, I'm like, this Vegas crowd is fucking lit. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is Vegas is a total hockey town. Like, I don't care about 9 years or not or whatever. They're fucking killing it. Like I said last week, I'm pulling for the Knights. I mean, it's impressive to see the Hurricanes come back from some of these games, but when the Knights pull it off, I think the next time we talk, fellas, I think the Knights are going to be the Stanley Cup champions. Dustin, digest that and spit it back at me.
Well, the two times that the Stanley Cup has been presented when Vegas is in it happened in Vegas. Unfortunately, it was Game 5 when they lost it to Washington in Vegas, so they got to see the sorrow there. You know, watching Ovechkin raise the cup on home ice. Congratulations, Ovechkin! You got your cup to go along with your goal record. Skip a couple years, season 6, Game 5, they hoisted the cup on their own home ice. And like they said the other night, Vegas's road win was the first road win in the playoffs in a long time, you know. But if Vegas is going to win again on home ice for the cup, we're going to Game 6. And that's where I think the series is going to end up, is in 6. I don't think it's going to 7. But if they can pull it out, my wife will have a chance to watch it on Thursday if they can pull out the game on Tuesday and then have a chance to win it on Thursday. But Vegas is definitely a hockey town. I lived there for most of my life, and they were so inundated with minor league. You had when I lived out there, it was the Las Vegas Stars, and then they changed it to the 51s, and then now they're the Aviators, and then the UNLV and the Running Rebels during the 90s was huge, and then they got the Las Vegas Thunders. Like, oh, they're not going to fucking do anything with minor league hockey out there.
It did well, but the problem was they were using the Thomas and Mack Center, and the UNLV people were not giving the Rebel or the Thunder any kind of fucking support. And that's actually when I became a fucking hockey fan, because growing up, I was like I told you guys on the episode that did not make it to air, that I grew up hating hockey. I was not a hockey fan. I was a hockeyist. It's like, this ain't our fucking game. Why would I fucking care about it? And I had a colleague working with me at Toys R Us back in the day, who was from the great state of Minnesota, where hockey is life, like in Canada. And he's like, hey, we should go to a fucking Thunder game. And he took me to a game, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I've been hooked on hockey ever since. The NFL was always my top dog. Baseball was second, basketball was third, and then hockey was down there in the grassroots. And then when we moved here to Utah and they get the NHL team down there, it's like, okay, this is truly their team. It's not a fucking relocation type of deal. And that city went absolutely apeshit for that town. I got friends back there in Vegas who go to as many games as they possibly can. My brother's his in-laws have got season tickets right behind the fucking goalie area. I can't afford those fucking tickets. Dear God, thank God he's a goddamn lawyer, because those seats are brutally expensive. Speaking of expensive, I looked to go down there for yesterday's game 3. A single ticket where I would normally sit at down there when I go down there to watch it during the regular season, through the nights, not fucking resell, 800 bones. In the fucking crow's nest at the top of the goddamn arena where I love to sit. Yeah, $800 per ticket.
That's $3,200 for the series. If you saw, well, that's only 3. Good grief.
Yeah, I thought our ticket prices were rough for us, for a season ticket holders here for the Mammoth, and they got to the goddamn finals. But $800 for game 3. But going back to Vegas loves that town. The Raiders, if you're a football fan, great, big deal. Everybody asks me, he's like, so are you gonna follow the Raiders when they go? It's like, fuck no, they're a relocation. They're not an expansion team. So when the Coyotes came here, I kind of had to eat a crow and become a little bit of a hypocrite, because I feel that same way. But I love hockey so much that I'm willing to be a hypocrite, and I'm willing to eat crow. I love fucking hockey. I don't care what anybody fucking says about having 1A and 1B teams. I'm from Vegas. I go down there multiple times a year because I got family down there whenever they're playing. And if I haven't afford it, I'm going to a game down there. If it happens to be against Utah now, so be it. I live here. I was a season ticket holder for the last 2 seasons of the Mammoth, the hockey club. I will go to their games. I'm going to the fucking Winter Classic against Colorado, which hurt the wall just a lot. But because I'm not going to the season this year, hey, so be it. I wish it was against Vegas, but it's not.
Right.
You're coming to some games with me, bro. You're coming. Works just like old times. Do you see how fucked up the Delta Center is?
I saw.
Have you guys seen?
Yeah,
it's deconstructed, you guys. It's like they're
the only section, the only part in your guys' section in that 135, it's your guys' spot.
Yeah.
That's the only one left. Everything is destroyed except because they got the scaffolding there to put the gondola seating that they're putting up there.
Yeah.
That's
like if I were sitting in my seats,
there'd be
nothing down and to the left, it would be a sheer drop where the stadium is cut out. The construction blitz.
It's crazy.
It's gonna be a weird season. Okay, where were we going? We talked about Alec Tuck, maybe the chokers. We got past it. Okay, I wanted to say something about the Conn Smythe Trophy. Now, if you don't know what the Conn Smythe Trophy is, it's the MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I know that we mentioned Mitch Marner, but I'm just going to say, I know he's a controversial character for some reason, but Carter Hart, I just got to say, man, for a kid with as much shit coming at him, to be on a national stage and to be under that kind of scrutiny. I mean, I can tell you, man, I turned 55 yesterday. I don't think I could handle it. Especially if I felt like I was an innocent man and something but to be able to hold your composure and to compete at that level. Look, man, sports everywhere All sports are populated by incredibly complex, multi-dimensional, often borderline psychotic competitors. And that comes along with every virtue like that. It comes along with sometimes strange behaviors. Now, a crime is a crime, but when no crime has been committed and a guy just needs to live his life, I just got to say, man, I think there's something special. We're going to be seeing this Hart kid for a long time, because if he's got the guts to do this under this microscope right now in his life, can you imagine what he's going to be doing in 5-6 years? Think about that, guys. What do you think?
Dude, I think about that every time I watch it, because like I tweet out, I go, I don't think our defense and Coach Bear are playing good enough. And I have people disagree with me. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, that hurt. But like, this guy in the court of law has been proven innocent, and he has people calling him a racist or a rapist. And like, and it's like, dude, like the fact that he's in the Stanley Cup, playing on his neck, on his head, going out there day in, day out. Man, you love to see that, because that means he's got a competitive heart, man.
Yeah.
Well, that and the help that these teams also, you would hope, give the players, with the whole mental health stuff. The fact that, yeah, you can question his judgment, his morals with the crap that he was involved with, but like you said, he was proven innocent in a court of law, and because of that, he deserves an opportunity to have a second chance and redeem himself. Everybody does. Now, if you get proven
Agreed.
guilty, we're talking a whole different situation here. But with that being said, you would hope that, and sidebar on that, that's the one of the things that a lot of people with Vegas really got pissed off about with their signing, because their ownership was, hey, we want, good, honorable, people in our organization. We don't want people with shady this and shady that, blah, blah. Yet they went ahead and signed him. And so that really irked the VGK fan base. I mean, big time. If you go back and see whether on Twitter or Facebook or, whatever, when they signed him, look at the comments that people said about them signing Carter Hart after this whole nonsense. But again, that's their way of ruthless aggression that they do. And but the whole mental aspect of it, he's got to be so goddamn headstrong to have to go through all of this stuff that he's going through to perform the way he is. And Torch loved him in Philadelphia, absolutely loved him, and hence the reason why he bounced Aiden Hill from the Pikes. And whether or not Torch gets signed on after this season, because he would only sign on for the rest of the season. That's all his contract was. It wasn't a long term, like when the Islanders got rid of Patrick Waugh and they took fucking ass clown DeBoer and signed him to a 3-year goddamn contract. They signed Torch just till the end of the season. So whether or not he gets to stay on is another question. If they win the Stanley Cup, I don't see why he wouldn't be staying on for at least a year, because Vegas's coaches only seem to last a year and a half to 2 years before they're on to the next, big free agent head coach that's out there. But yeah, Carter Hart, you got to give him props. I mean, everything that he's gone through to get back to where he's at, kudos to him.
I do want to say,
Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, it's funny, like, because of Mammoth fans, and deservingly so, we're the new kid on the block. People are like, oh, it's such an uneducated fan base. It's such a this and that. And I hear Carolina chanting no means no, as if they weren't in the free agency battle for Carter Hart when they were doing that. And then also the blatant, like, interference call in game 2 that they were like, refuse suck. Like, it's just showing me more of like, oh, like, as Mammoth fans, don't take everything so serious, because like these other like teams that have been here forever, their fans are just as stupid as us. But yeah, Carter Hart, dude, the Hurricanes would love to have Carter Hart on their team right now. They're chanting no means no is ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you're trying to destroy the Vegas Golden Knights cohesion, if you're trying to destroy the Knights family, you are barking up the wrong tree, because I tell you, these professional athletes, you think they haven't adopted that kid? You think they're not thriving off the nuts on this kid going out and putting himself out there, I mean, what people say and think about him, you think the other men in that locker room aren't like it's bringing that team together, I bet, because those guys are at war with one another, and whether or not they're on the same team next year or 5 years, one way or another from now, man, this is the kind of stuff that brings a family together. So it might backfire on you if you're trying to get at the Knights. I'll say one more thing about the Knights and John Tortorella. What kind of a super mega wizard Chad move would it be for Tortorella to walk in and win a Stanley Cup and walk away?
I can see that. I can see it too, because he says he likes coaching it. He's what, 67 years old, 66 years old, somewhere in that ballpark. He said he was, doing horses with his wife before he got the phone call, on their farm type of a deal. But going back to your thing about the evil empire that Vegas is, I want you to think about something. Everybody complains that Vegas was handed their team. No, they weren't handed their team. They drafted wisely. They made some trades that helped them establish what they've got. Yeah, Minnesota didn't get the same thing. Yeah, Columbus didn't get the same thing. Yeah, Nashville didn't get the same thing. Think of it this way. If Utah would have been an expansion team versus a relocation, the same rules would have applied to them. Everybody, you need to submit a list of players who you're going to protect, a list of players who you're not going to protect, and pick on them. The difference between Vegas and Seattle was Vegas knew when they got their team that Seattle was coming into the league very quickly here. And Vegas like, well, we don't want to have to give up any players yet because we're still trying to build. And the NHL accommodated them and said that's fine, but you will not get penny one from the fee that when the trying to think of the word I'm looking for, the
expansion.
Yeah,
the expansion.
Fee. You don't get penny one. So you can keep all your players, but you're not getting one dime. And so when Vegas got their team and they made the trades for, like, when Minnesota, they took somebody from Minnesota and I forgot who it was, and then they got Alex Tuck in there as well, and because they were going to go after Dumba, if I remember correctly. They're like, hey, if you guys take player Y, and I forget who player Y was because it was 10 years ago, but if you throw in Tuck, we're good. And they did, and Tuck had a good year that first year in Vegas. He did such a good year that fucking Minnesota fired their general manager the following season because they fucked the punch. But then Seattle came in and they asked Vegas, hey, what did you do? And Vegas was like, we ain't fucking telling you.
Yeah.
As
that's how
should.
fucking ruthless they were.
Trade secret. Yeah.
They made the trades. They examined, and I mean, look, when Vegas selected Marc-Andre Fleury from fucking Pittsburgh, that was your face of your franchise. There's your goaltender, your Hall of Famer goaltender, stuff like that. They even did him fucking wrong. They got rid of him for Robin Leonard. What the fuck were you thinking, Vegas? And then, and then Florida, they got Marchessault and Riley Smith on those two guys. So, I mean, Vegas did fine. And you can say that, they were handed their fucking team all you want to. They drafted, they did their due diligence and looked and listened to trade offers and stuff like that. Utah would have had the exact same presentation offered to them if it would have been an expansion team versus a relocation.
And let's not forget Seattle Kraken, same rules for expansion as anywhere else. And how did it turn out then? They've been still wallowing in mediocrity.
Yeah, they missed playoffs year one, made it to year two, got past the first round in year two, and they haven't done well since. And I don't know if they did. I don't know if Ron Francis was the genius that Jordan McPhee and company are in Seattle. Obviously not, because Vegas has missed the playoffs once in their 9 years of existence. I've been in the Stanley Cup for 3 years. But that just shows you how aggressive him and McPhee are, and Bill Daly, the owner. They want to win, and I guess now Bill Daly is actually submitting to be part of the ownership group to bring the NBA to Vegas. Oh dear God, no.
Well, okay. So, what do you think about the Athletics? I don't think you give a shit about baseball too much, but the Athletics moving to the Strip. What do you think?
I grew up loving baseball. The Oakland A's were actually one of my favorite teams. Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, Connie Lansford, Dave Stewart, and company and stuff like that. So I've always had a spot for the A's. But as I got older and the strikes in baseball, which is coming, it's coming. And if you don't think so, you're a moron. There's a strike coming for baseball. I don't have a problem with the A's going to Vegas. I don't think they're going to be able to support both the A's and the Aviators. Even though I have not been to the Aviators ballpark, which is literally on the backside of the practice building for the Golden Knights. Their wall separates the two facilities out there. I have buddies back in Vegas who will go watch the Braves when they come to town. Fuck the A's. They'll watch the Padres when they come to town. Fuck the A's. It's just going to be the exact same situation with the NHL. When you go, hey, my team is going to Vegas, let's go. That arena will be full of tourist baseball fans versus local baseball fans. Now, if Utah does get a baseball team, I think it will be a different ballgame. I don't think it's going to be the tourists like Vegas is going to be, because who cares about the fucking Oakland A's and Fisher? He doesn't want to spend goddamn money to bring in players to Oakland or Sacramento or where the fuck they're playing at right now. No, baseball in Vegas will be for a tourist. When the Yankees come to town, when the Cubs come to town, when the Braves come, when the fucking Dodgers come to town. So.
Yeah, and and so much of sports ownership is just trying to sell a family evening out or a date night or an experience rather than winning or losing. And back to the Knights. Hey, look, fucking lean into it, guys. You guys want to win, I mean, and that's refreshing. I don't care if the tactics are shady.
Yeah.
Rather than like what I've said before, hot summer nights and J-Dogs and Coors Light. Like that's what a lot of ballparks, that's what a lot of organizations are trying to sell. And so back to the Knights, gosh, it's you guys got a winner and an organization that wants to win. And when it comes to the fans, what was that? Not 50 Cent, Eminem.
Mhm.
And he did the 5 Mile movie, right? Where at the end, they're like, they're going to come at you, bro. They're going to say all that stuff. They're going to say all that shit about you, and they're going to make you look like an idiot. And then he decides to that's right. I'm just going to spit it all out and take it in and embrace it.
Yep.
Like, that's where you guys are as a fan base. Just like, yeah, that's right. We got our franchise. We were actually misfits, and we turned it into something pretty awesome. And also this. And look, it's all just smack talk, and you guys are going to hear it forever, whether it's right or wrong. So,
Yeah, it is.
anything you want to say? Yeah.
And I've told both of you guys in person at the Delta Center, when the NHL expands, and it's not if they expand, it's when they expand. The if is when they realign the divisions and they put Utah and Vegas in the same division. That's when I will make the choice of who I will follow. If I'm still here in Utah and that happens, then I will fully support the Mammoth. But if I am ever back in Vegas and that happens, I will support the fucking Golden Knights. And here's the point.
You didn't see it coming this year. You
What's that?
thought hey, look, you didn't see it coming this year. You thought for sure it was like, hey, I'm all right being Knights and Mammoth. What's the likelihood that these guys are going to end up meeting up? And so it got you sooner than you thought.
Oh,
didn't
it sure did. Me and my wife, we were hoping that they would meet in the playoffs in the Western Conference Final. That way, we had a guaranteed championship team coming out of it, potentially. But for them to fucking meet in the first goddamn round, you guys saw me. I was there at Big Willie's with you for game 1. I was rooting for both of my teams. I had my Mammoth jersey on. I had my Vegas t-shirt underneath me, type of a deal. I was rooting for both teams. You guys were there. You can attest to it. I had a bet back with my friends back in Vegas that I actually chose the Mammoth to beat Vegas in this series. And if Vegas could fucking not be the powerhouse third period team that they've been all year long, except for last night's game and game 2, Utah would have swept them sons of bitches. But it did not happen because Utah cannot fucking hold on to a third period lead to save their fucking life. Now, if they start shooting a goddamn puck, and maybe things will change. But I had a bet, like I was saying, with one of my boys back in Vegas. He knows how much I hate the fucking Raiders. Hate them with a passion. I now have to go to Vegas in November, and I have to wear a fucking Raiders jersey and have my picture taken in it. And when I cared about the NFL, I am a diehard Chicago Bears fan. I have been since '85. My poor wife, who is amazing, has to have her picture taken in a fucking Green Bay Packers jersey. And the thought of seeing my beautiful wife in a fucking Packers jersey causes the thought of my skin to crawl like there's no tomorrow. But I was rooting for the Mammoth, not for fucking Vegas in that first series, and now I've got to pay the piper.
well, Big D, dude, I gotta admit, the last episode, I said I'm going to be cheering for the Canes, and the last 3 games I found myself, it's hard for me to cheer against the West Coast. And like you said, so I went to Vegas in 2021, right after the pandemic, when it was cheap and everything was empty. Dude, half the cars I saw while I was riding in my Uber had a Vegas Golden Knight, like, license plate. What do they call that? Whatever it's called.
Personalized.
Like,
The personalized special group license plates.
yeah, the person, like, they all had the Vegas Golden Knights. And I found myself cheering for Vegas because, like you said, the Raiders aren't Vegas to me, because I was born in '88. So for me, that's Oakland. The Raiders are Oakland. Like, I'll never look at them as the Vegas Raiders. Same with the Athletics. They'll always be Oakland to me. But Vegas, and also shout out the Aces, two teams that went to Vegas and won championships very early in a great city with great fans. I think as Utahns, we just give them a lot of shit because we're jealous that they have a lot more casinos. You can order a triple whiskey with fucking Coke. But, you know, I found myself cheering for the Vegas Golden Knights, and I hope they win it in 6, and I hope they hoist Lord Stanley in Las Vegas.
And I'm gonna put this on your guys' show right now. I'm already jumped on board the women's professional hockey team out there. I'm saying it right now.
Me
They
too.
got the team. I'm on it. If Utah gets one, then it's gonna be the same situation.
Yep.
But my wife and I, we got to go see the USA Canada exhibition game here. That was last season during the over at the Maverick Center. That game was fucking amazing. Women's hockey is amazing.
It's awesome.
It is so much fun. Vegas got their team out there. Their colors right now sucks because it's just their first year, but they'll get to change that shit up. But I'm on the Vegas women's hockey team, so I'm putting it on your fucking podcast first. That I am already on board with that one too.
What are they called, Big D? The Vegas.
Right now, it's just the Vegas women's. They don't have a name yet because I think that's just.
It's women's professional hockey is their name.
I think so. I think so.
The Vegas Hockey Club, the Vegas Women's Hockey Club.
I know I saw yesterday that it's signed like their first 2 defensemen. So it's coming.
Defense
and then
women.
San Jose got a team, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada got a team, and Detroit got a team. So those are the new 4 teams to the league, and so. I'll definitely be watching the ladies play as well. It's good stuff. Hockey is the greatest sport on earth.
We're gonna get together and watch some of this NHL draft coming up, aren't we, Dustin?
Yeah, we're gonna get together on the 27th, which is a Saturday. It's night 2.
It's the second night.
Yeah, second night. We'll talk about that shit, and then I'm actually going to start up my own fucking hockey podcast. I've been wanting to do it for a little bit of a time. You guys will be my first fucking guest on it if you guys show up. We're going to kind of recap. We're going to recap.
Is this you're hard launching the Big Vader D hockey pod on Slapshot?
I have a name already set up for it. I'm not going to release it. I got to make sure that it's not out there anywhere. It won't be a video one because I just do this shit for fun. I'm not paying these monthly subscription for YouTube and all this crap. I do it for fun, but it will be on all the things. Unfortunately, it's going to happen during the off season, so there won't be a lot of time to talk. But you two crazy boys and your brother. And if Judge shows up, you guys will be my first guest on that show. We're just going to talk about the season that was, what you thought about being a season ticket holder, Leroy, for the last 2 seasons, if it was beneficial for being a season ticket holder, because in my opinion, for us big guys, it wasn't, not at all. But
we'll talk about that.
We'll go into it. We'll talk and find out how you guys got into hockey. We'll talk about how I got into hockey. I kind of give you a little bit of an insert on this one right now, but it's coming. It's coming.
Hell
okay,
yeah.
I'm pumped. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that. I got to know you over the course of a couple seasons, and eventually you showed me your spreadsheets of like you entering all the scoring data and the statistical data and how closely you follow things. I'm like, holy shit, my dude is for real. Like, he's a gritty hockey fan. So Dustin, I can't wait to see you soon and talk to you on your show. And of course, we're going to have you back soon enough. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
Yeah. One last thing about a gritty hockey fan. If I don't think it happened on our last show because of the air, but if I remember correctly, I told you about San Jose. That last year when San Jose had started the season
right.
0-9, and you didn't fucking believe me. I told you.
Yeah. No,
And
yeah. I don't know if we got to that point in the show, but just as an extra here, Dustin has this really uncanny, spooky ability to suddenly turn to you from 4 or 5 seats over and look at you in the dark and like kind of basically say, "We're fucked." And you're like, "No way, we got a 3-goal lead and there's only 10 minutes left." No, we're out. And soon enough, that was the San Jose game where we got buried unexpectedly. You've done it more than one time.
I told you that night. It's like, you're like, oh, San Jose's the time night. We've got this game. It's like, no, San Jose hasn't won a fucking game yet. This is a trap game.
Good.
And 3-0, you're looking at me, giving me this glare of like, hey, I told you so. And all of a sudden that first goal came and I just kind of look over at you. It's like, second goal happened.
No.
And then it came to, truth that San Jose did win, got the first win against us. And then later that season, Anaheim did the exact same thing. And you're like, don't do that mumbo jumbo bullshit on me. And it happened again. And also, on the sad part, I am glad that I was able to whoop your fucking ass in fantasy hockey. Congratulations to being, the loser to me on my way to the championship.
That's true, because not only is Dustin our local Vegas Golden Knights consultant, but as a virtue of whooping my ass in a fantasy hockey final, he is now the fantasy hockey consultant for Slapshot Utah. Dude, pleasure having you on the show, man. I think that was a good one, guys. What do you think? Oh, are we ready for the draft? Obviously, we're all thinking the Golden Knights are going to polish this off. I mean, what's our prediction, fellas? John, you go first. Tell us, what are we going to get?
Knights in 6.
All right, Knights in 6. I think I'm going right along with you. I think it's Knights in 6. Dustin?
I said earlier, it's going to be the Knights in 6 because I would love for Vegas to hoist that cup on home ice for the second time versus having to do it in Carolina and having shit thrown at them for being the evil empire that the world knows them to be. But
amen.
We got the draft coming up. Any potential trades, that could be lurking around, type of a deal. So it's almost over, which sucks. And then I got to focus all my attention to my fucking garden because hockey will be over until October.
Well, I gotta say, Sith Lord Dust, thank you so much for being on here, and I can't express enough about how grateful I am to become friends with you, become friends with Leroy, and all my friends at the Delta Center. I think it's made hockey a lot more fun that I have boys like you guys to talk to, and I want to emphasize, just like we talked about last episode about Cloud Lemieux and his suicide. During June, it's Men's Mental Health Month, and they don't give a shit about us people, but you know what? We give a shit about you. So if anyone you know is in trouble, don't forget to call 988 or hit me, Leroy, or Big Vader D over here, dudes, because we're here, we're ready to talk to you, and we're ready to watch some sports, drink a beer, and have a good time. So thank you, Big D, for being on the episode of Slapshot Utah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Can't wait for your launch, and we will be there for the first episode, and we will definitely let you guys know. But we'll talk to you next week on another episode of Slapshot Utah.